He's shooting anything. Good morning, and you're very welcome to the vlog. This morning finds us at the very end of the Beara Peninsula, not very far from Dursey Island, as far west in Cork as you can go. When we left Cork this morning, our plan was to head to Killarney. With the wind that's there and the biting cold, we felt that the lakes of Killarney would look more like seas, and therefore reflections wouldn't be available. We made a decision to turn off towards Coppeen and Coosson Gap, bringing us down into Cailkill and Bantry Bay, and then slipped along by Glengariff, down past Adrigole on the way to Castletownbere, and on this far south. Now, the reason we came this far south and didn't stay in somewhere as beautiful as Adrigole, which has the snow-capped mountains behind it, is because we wanted to get the sun rising up over the actual horizon itself, and we had to we checked the photographer's affirmous, and we had to come this far south to have an unhindered view of that sun. And what a sunrise it was. I'll show you footage of that now. It's bitingly cold here and extremely windy. I think I see the camera moving over there in the wind, and yet I'm in the lee of it here. So hopefully it'll die down later. We'll make our way back up to Killarney. We'll go there via probably Healy Pass, Kenmare, Moll's Gap, and back into Killarney. And maybe, if we're lucky enough, we might get a sunset somewhere near Glen Bay. This might not come to pass at all. This is just a general plan. When we set out this morning, we never expected to be this far down the Beara Peninsula. We got the sunrise. We're delighted with that. No long exposures, or let's say 1 second exposures. We were just too far away from the actual water itself, and we didn't have enough time to set up, truth be told. We were very lucky to find a bit of a leg going into the sea there that had foreground with rocks, and we could also see on the far side of the harbour here the rocks made for nice foreground, whilst the sun was rising at the very tip of, I think it was the Mizzen Peninsula, because that comes further south from this vantage point than the Sheep's Head Peninsula, which is the next peninsula over. Also, there was some lovely mist in the air around the sun, so therefore we got some lovely orange colour as well. You'll be able to see that. So I hope you'll be able to stay with us and join us for the rest of the vlog as we travel into the west. Okay, since last time I was talking to you, we've moved through Castletownbere, where we got some beautiful shots of Hungry Hill in the background and the fishing boats in for the Christmas parked up in the harbour. We've moved further up north towards Glengariff, and what we have here is Adrigole Bay. It's a lovely little intimate little bay. There's a bit of a distance between us and it. We might try and get down to it closer in a minute by going down to the pier further on, but I think this is a lovely shot from the side of the road. We're looking at Hungry Hill there in front of us, and it's almost like a cake really with the snow on the top. It's like the icing on the cake, a Danish pastry or something like that. Hoping to try and get some strong sunlight shining in on it. There are some very heavy showers around, which make it all the more dramatic, to be perfectly honest. I have with me a 1DX2. I have, what am I using? A 24-105 lens, and probably will be shooting between 35 and 50 millimeters. I have a polarizer on, and I'm trying to get myself in closer, so I'll clip just the top of the trees down there and hopefully get the rest of the scene in as well. I might actually shoot it from further back, nearer to 35 millimeters, because I can then cut out maybe the bottom and parts of the top. So I basically, if I'm shooting in closer, I miss the spread of the bay. So I'm trying to get that in. That tree is hampering my view at the moment. Also, I could very well get a graduated filter and put it in, darken up the sky, but I tend to do that in post. So if you're thinking about buying graduated filters, have a think first maybe in using them, basically using the graduated filter in Photoshop or in Lightroom. I'm shooting at 1/30th of a second. I'm on f14, but I think I'm going to change that. I'm going to come down to f11 and go up to maybe 1/40th of a second. I think these are more holiday snaps. Just caught you. That's actually Darren.
Hi guys, welcome to the vlog. I'm standing here at Dealey Pass. In front of me you have the bridge, which is quiet at the moment, which is good because I don't want any cars in the picture. On the left you have a waterfall, and what I want to try and do is shoot possibly half a second to make the water milky and continue it underneath the bridge. The shot then should go through the arch of the bridge and into the valley behind. So it's the river itself is creating a leading line through. My settings for this, because it's so sunny, I've had to put on an ND filter which darkens down the exposure, which allows me, if you're going by the exposure triangle, allows me to slow down the shutter speed to half a second thereabouts, so I can achieve the milky flow of the water. So my aperture is f16 to get depth of field. So I want, as a landscape photographer, to get everything from near to far sharp. My ISO is 100. That's to get the utmost quality from the camera. And as I said, my shutter speed, I'm going to experiment, starting off with a second. I am focused about a third into the picture. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm just taking the picture now. Okay. Now what I've actually done as well is I've set up even though I have the filters on, I set up bracketing to get 3 different exposures. And what that's doing is, when I said before that I was going for a 1.5 seconds, if I bracket the picture, it will do that automatically for me. So from the one press, the camera will take 3 pictures. And you can see the effect of those 3 pictures when Fergus puts it up on the vlog. So that's it, guys. Thanks very much.
Okay, well, we finally arrived in Killarney and it is blowing a gale here. Also, the weather is disimproving for the moment anyway. We're hoping that we see blue skies off, well, to my left at the moment, and hopefully they'll be on us in the next 10 or 15 minutes. I never saw so much water in the upper lakes, truth be told. Normally the lake finishes here with plenty of reeds. They are pushed in. I'll give you a shot of that in a second. The water is now well pushed back, and so much so that you can't even walk around the lakes. On top of that too, we've got a boat over here which is normally on the water, well under the water, and the other boats that are there, the lads have obviously taken them off. The only focal point for us today is basically this particular boat here. It hasn't even got a name. Poor old Tiernan Og seems to be missing today. It's tied up there, well out of the water. It is our focal point. We're getting a little bit of light coming on the actual reeks there. For the last 10 or 15 minutes, they have been covered in cloud, and you can't even see the snow on them. Pointless taking any shot there. So now we're going to use the boat as the main focal point, with the lake and then in the mid-ground, and the lake and the Carrauntoohil as our background. Hopefully there'll be a bit more light on Carrauntoohil. It's holding the clouds at the moment, but there is blue sky over, and the wind is very strong, so it's going to be pushing through. Ordinarily when we're here, we find that this particular lake is like glass early in the morning on a calm morning. Today it's much more like the sea. And to try and shoot it, we will then need to try and reduce the amount of light getting into the actual camera lens, so that we can open up the lens for longer, because by opening it up longer we'll be able to smoothen out the lake. I'm not sure that it'll do a great job because it's so grey today. I'm using a 6-stop ND filter as well as a polarizer, in the hope that the sun will come back. That'll allow me to get anything from 8 to 15 seconds, the length of time that the shutter will be open, allowing light into the actual sensor, allowing me to get a different style of shot. On top of that too, it would be lovely if we had a bit of light on the Carron Tool. We're just about to get a bit of rain here now, but I don't think it'll last for very long, Darren. Hopefully it'll pass on. So listen, we'll get back to you, let you know how we're getting on. By the way, we won't be able to get a sketch in today. It's just too cold and too windy. So let us know what you think of the sketches. If you think we should put one in each of the vlogs, or if you're happy to leave them out, just put a little note there in the underneath the vlog. Okay, talk to you in a while.